What's up, everybody, and welcome to the LittleBigKast. We are four players searching for that elusive game-life balance. On today's show, we toss around wontons, and Jeff talks about the division.
Yeah.
Rachel gets
Hello,
bro
D.
forced.
Bam.
I'm a bro.
Bro forced. Drew talks about getting snipped,
I'm scared, but I'm thinking.
and
Bro.
Glenn subs in for Robin.
Yeah,
All that
Bro.
on episode 89 of the LittleBigKast. Welcome.
What do we got?
Dude was shredding on the guitar, bro.
Totally.
Totally shredding, bro.
Cool. So, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 89 of the
Big time.
LittleBigKast.
Woo.
My name is Jeff Hawks.
Hey, Jeff
I'm
Hawks.
one of four hosts for tonight's show. With me, as always, Miss Rachel Hernandez.
That's me.
Thanks for holding it up over there.
Hey.
Yeah. Mr. Glenn Wiggum.
Hey, I'm
You too.
back.
Mascot Glenn's back on the
And
It's
side.
executive producer.
Yeah,
executive producer Glenn Wiggum.
I'll allow it.
And our own Drew Tyler.
Hey, everybody. it's
Teacher
good to be
extraordinaire.
here. I am. And it's my spring break, so not only am I, like, shirking all my duties this week, but I'm like, here, like, this is the
I will
celebratory.
say, so I showed up today and I was like, do I want to try and park at the gym? Because the gym,
Always
with
full.
relation to
Always
the
full.
library, is the closest and it's the least, it's like the
Right.
shortest walk. And I was like, I don't want to go up there because the last couple times it's been full and then I'm driving around for like
Right,
10
and you gotta
minutes
turn
and my kid,
around
I've already
back.
been in there.
Right. Oh,
So
no.
I pull up and I park and I'm like, why is the parking lot so freaking empty? And I'm walking around and I'm like, the campus is kind of creepy right now. What is going on? Like, all the lights are off. Nobody's
Yeah,
here.
gym was
Normally,
closed.
Like, there's people.
Yep.
And went to the front doors of the library because I was like, I'm already here. I might as well just go to the front door. Freaking locked. Nobody's in there. I was like, spring
We have this whole place to
break.
ourselves.
I remember now. That's why the division launch was a big deal. You know, you can go in there and you get, you know, spring break is happening, so people are playing video games. And I
It's real,
remembered
it's real.
in that moment, I remembered us talking about that, and then I had totally forgotten about it. And
You could have
I'm
parked
gonna
way
actually,
closer.
like, I just also, I'm having these moments where I like catch myself doing things. I'm doing this already a lot today.
Wow.
And
Did
I'm
you
gonna
ever
put my
watch-
hands down?
Did you ever watch the video that I posted? I didn't know if well, I think it was on our YouTube, but I was skimming through it. I should just pull it up and show it to you because it's funny.
bad.
Every second I stop, every frame I stop on, your hands are up. It's hilarious because we were
We
talking
could
about
probably
it.
do a
What
stop
do I
motion
do?
video of the entire episode where it's just like my hands in different positions.
that would tell
Like,
the story.
that'd be interesting. I
It's
don't
true.
know.
It's true.
I don't know. So, what have you guys been doing this week? Do you want me to start? I can kick it off.
You can go. Yeah,
Okay,
ride,
number
ride
one.
the pony.
So I talk extensively about my love for Mass Effect, right? So
Yes.
when I upgraded to the PlayStation 4, I was not in the richest of circumstances. Pretty sure you could still applies. So I'm pretty sure,
Circumstances.
that still applies to me. And so
Yeah.
as part of my PS4 purchase, I had to let the PS3 go. I had to sell it in order to cover a little bit of that cost.
Right,
As
that's
part
true.
of the deal I made with the wife. I don't know if you're listening out there. You got a wife or a husband.
We do
you
the
have to
balance
run-
thing. You got to
have to-
balance.
I mean, this is the show about like game life balance, right? And so I had to sacrifice a little to get something better. In the process, I gave away something that I really care about and I value, and that is my Mass Effect saves and the relationships that I had with those characters, and my hands. And so this weekend I was over at my mom's place, and my little brother still lives at home, and he has his own PlayStation 3, and I was like, what if we set up my PSN account
On his
your
PlayStation.
PlayStation and see if it works? And he's like, yeah, that's fine, sure.
Okay.
I mean, that'll give me all your games, right?
Right.
And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Anything I've downloaded, you have. Which,
Wow.
I was shocked at how many titles there
Didn't you
were.
count them? How many
It was
were
like
there?
300
It
and
was like
something, was it?
364.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know how many of those were demos.
But that's a lot of
games.
games.
But I mean, that's every
That's a
PlayStation
young man's
Plus
dream.
That's every PlayStation Plus game that came out since it was available. So he's got a lot of games to be playing now. But we downloaded Mass Effect 3. I hopped into multiplayer. All my stuff is there. So I got to go through and play. I played a couple rounds as my Mass Effect guys, and I was so freaking pumped. Like, I love the Mass Effect world. I love the lore. I love the universe and galaxy that it created. And from a multiplayer perspective, what they did so incredibly well that I desperately wish Destiny had capitalized on was, excuse me, the fact that in Mass Effect, different classes can kind of their powers can be amplified by the other classes. So they complement each other. So if I'm playing, an adept class, so like a magic class, and I'm playing with a
Right, we talked about
a
this,
sentinel,
right?
whatever. Yeah.
Right,
So
like they
we've
play
talked
well.
about this before, but those powers complement each other, and so like I can prime a target, and if someone hits them with their special,
Right.
that prime will explode, and so it does double or more than double what the damage would be just on my own. And I really wish that Destiny had capitalized on that, and I don't mean to bring the conversation back to Destiny, but that's kind of what I do.
It's okay. It's okay.
But I so desperately wish that Destiny had captured that and allowed different subclasses to complement each other. And, right now they don't.
Right? I was going to say, they've got enough subclasses.
They totally could. Yeah,
They
totally
have.
could. They've got three different classes, and then each of those classes have 3 subclasses. So you could totally have created
yeah.
a scenario where
Somebody
different
on that
things
team
were prepping and priming.
had to play Mass Effect 3. Like they knew about this opportunity.
You'd think.
Maybe
So
it didn't
I-
strike them as well, like as something that they should have
Yeah.
carried on.
So I
Maybe they
desperately
thought
wish they had done that.
rip
But
off.
it gives me hope for Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm hoping that comes out and has a multiplayer that is similar to 3 that can be kind of utilized in a similar fashion. Outside of that, I've been playing The Division. So that launched Tuesday. It was available Monday night at 10 p.m.
Did you jump in
So
right
I jumped
then?
in
Yeah?
as soon as it was open. I jumped in, and what was funny, I took a couple screenshots. But
Did you have to start over at the very beginning? Like the whole same story as the beta?
no, that actually happens a little while into the
Okay,
game. So
okay.
you start actually before that. And
Okay.
what was interesting is everyone was trying to get on at the exact same time. And so what was funny is you would get to these points where you have to check in with someone, and there would be like 400 people surrounding them trying to like log into a computer.
Oh.
And so I actually have a screenshot that I took
Like everybody got there at the same time.
everyone.
Welcome.
All these level 1s smushed up against a desk, trying to be the
hilarious.
one to hit square to activate the computer, and it was
That's
ridiculous.
funny.
I mean, I spent
I want that screenshot.
spent
Let's see
probably
that.
like 5 minutes trying to get to and scan myself into the computer, just because it was so packed.
That's awesome.
So it was funny, but honestly, overall, I think The Division is a serious winner. I think there were a lot of really high expectations with The
Right.
Division, and Ubisoft over the last couple of years, in a lot of ways, like I told you, I was disappointed with Watch Dogs, right? Like
Right, we all
the
kind
hype
of
We
was
all were.
very
We're like,
real,
womp, womp.
and it just didn't end up being what we hoped and expected it to be. The same thing, obviously, like we've talked about as well, Assassin's Creed, right? So the same thing was true with Assassin's Creed. The Division has totally lived up to the hype in my eyes and in the eyes of the guys that I play with. I couldn't be happier. It feels like a true RPG.
Does it? Okay, I was gonna ask. Is it a lot
it
of
is-
like? Because I remember the beta, and again, I played the closed beta. I came in for like the first like 20 minutes of the open
Yeah.
beta, and I just had to do the same thing over. I was like, nope. But is it still very much ducking and hiding type of
Yeah,
gameplay,
it
or does
is.
it grow out of?
It is like
not grow out. That is its staple. But
So it's a third-person shooter, but it is a cover-based shooter as well.
Cover-based,
So
right.
you are moving from cover to cover. And what is really cool about this is if you can find a good team to play with, you don't have to have a team by any means. If you play solo, there are actually perks that you can get for playing solo, like basically lone wolf perks that give you additional damage if you're consistently playing by yourself. But what's also cool about The Division is that it is truly built to like meet up with people in game. So like I could just walk past a person, walk up to them, and I can say join team, and I can go in and be like, hey, do you guys mind if I roll with you for a little bit?
like you just audio wise, like how do you?
Yeah, you can just talk.
If you're
So,
within a
yeah.
proximity, you can be like,
Yeah, so there's also proximity sound as well. But yeah, I can go up and just click on somebody. It'll give me their profile, and I can choose to join or invite them to
Invite
join
them to
me.
you.
And it's just
be
very.
fun.
I think it's done very seamlessly. It feels good, and for a cover-based shooter, The Division feels very fluid. Where a lot of cover-based shooters that I've played in the past doesn't really feel fluid. It feels really chunky and like, okay, I gotta
Right,
move here. I gotta move here.
the beta
I
was
gotta
so
move here.
clean, like just the sliding from place to place. You know exactly what button. You're
Yeah,
supposed
and
to
it
hit.
feels that way
It was
throughout, and
really
it's
sleek.
really cool. But from a weapons customization perspective, the game nails it. Like it is very cool that you can go in and you can swap out silencers, you can swap out different scopes, grips, the whole deal, and it's really cool. I'm digging it.
I'm glad you're. See, I'm tempted. But I don't know. Like, it's the shooter thing. I think if there was more fantasy to it, I'd probably jam. Like, if it was like Marvel style universe, where you're like blowing stuff, the magic, I could get him behind. I don't know. Maybe it's the guns.
For some
I
people,
don't do guns.
an RPG with fantasy elements
Yeah.
is way easier to get into.
Yeah,
than-
for me, that's me.
yeah, and I get
That's me.
that.
That's why I think Destiny. I ran as long as I did on Destiny for that very reason. I think this one I played through the beta, and I was kind of like, "Oh, okay." I don't know. Just but I did like it was very fluid. That sounds like a fun, very busy week. So how many hours between like when it launched and now?
I'm
Do we
probably
dare say-
only like,
can we admit?
I'm probably only like 3 or 4 hours.
Okay. That's healthy.
I'm level like 6.
So are you rocking with your old Destiny team, or is this a whole new set of people?
Like 3/4 of the Destiny group
Cool.
are now playing the Division as well. It's a good team, and you're always welcome to join.
I know. I'm thinking about it.
They're
probably
good.
Pick
They're
up,
good
I'll probably pick up
dudes.
the division.
Like, you're not going to get hassled at all from our group. And if
Yeah, you
anybody
got a
out
good
there's
group.
listening
You
and,
do have a good
and
group.
want to join, like if you guys want to be playing with us, like as long as you can chill and,
Jeff is
and
the
roll
coolest-
without it being weird.
Coolest cat ever.
Um,
You can roll.
Best general you'll
Send
ever have.
me a friend request on the PlayStation Network. I'm at Mr. Hawks, MRHOX, and so I'm going to be playing a lot of Division and occasionally still probably jumping into Destiny. But that's been my week, guys.
It sounds.
I mean, that and work.
Good week.
Right, well, yeah. The
That
thing
work.
thing that puts the foods on the
Work
table.
and family.
Yep,
It's mostly
yep.
game balance this year.
Yeah.
This week.
Sounds like game.
Absolutely.
But you haven't had a lot of game.
That's
yeah,
right.
it's been like
took
a
long.
month off, so
been
like
mostly
I feel
life.
like it's been coming. Yeah, I feel like it's
That's
due.
good. That's good.
Some gaming time is owed me. Is how I feel. What about you guys?
I didn't really play a lot of Uncharted this week. No, not this week, but
Like trying to get.
Uncharted 2.
Uncharted 2.
Because I
I'm
actually
playing
also
Uncharted
played.
2.
I played 3 rounds
Right.
of the Uncharted 4 multiplayer
I
beta.
saw that.
That was fun.
That's cool.
It was fun.
That's cool.
More Uncharted.
I did pick up Heavy Rain for
You
my
did.
PlayStation
You
4.
did.
Yeah, picked that up. So
Have you started?
no, because it took 74 hours to download. Hey, what do you guys do? Do you save your guys' games on jump drives? Because I've hit the point where
Oh, like
I just-
export
I
I
the
just
whole
actually-
delete
in
what I'm
order
not
to-
playing and
Really?
then
In order
download
to get
them
the
again.
Division,
I can't
deleted
do
games.
that.
But
That's
it
so-
doesn't delete your saves. Data.
I know, but
You just
As
have
long
to
as you don't
re-download
delete
the
your
it.
save
save
data
data,
is
that's
what's
fine.
important.
But you can. You can.
Right, but it doesn't delete that. You don't need to.
Yeah.
What about
but-
It's
the-
the game. So you have your game
data.
data.
Oh, you're
which
right,
Is like your
okay.
32 gigs or
And
whatever,
then-
and then you have
That's
like
just cutscenes and
3
info.
gigs that are your save data, and so that's what puts you back to where you're at. And I
Well, there you
think
go.
with the PS4, it actually syncs all of your save data if you have PS Plus to the cloud.
Yeah, it should.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Well, that'd be rad.
Yeah.
But if you just go and delete the game, you're safe. All your
But-
stuff's good.
But that's Heavy Rain. I bought Heavy Rain and it was digital
huge.
download, $30 for the PlayStation 4, and I was reading about what I can do, how it goes, how it rolls.
You
so
like to read it before
I
you
just need
do
to
it.
shut up and play it. That's what everyone's telling me. So
Yeah,
it's
you
really
always
hard for
would.
me to do that though, especially with a game like this. And then I will probably pick up Division by the end of the week. Hopefully, I don't know. My boyfriend's been on spring break, so he's been doing nothing,
He gets to
and
do
I
nothing. That's
so
what he
I
gets
think I
to
just
do.
want
Why
to take.
isn't he here?
I don't know. He's probably playing Dota or something.
What a nerd.
Where are you? But I
miss him already.
But it's gone. Thought's gone. Division. Oh yeah. So I just want to take a week off of work. Oh, surprisingly enough, I went on Twitter and I was like, "Have you guys ever just wanted to take a week off work and play video games?" And it was a 64-70 vote.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like, that
64,
people-
Oh, is that the poll
64%
you
of
put out
people
there?
said no. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
I know. I was like, what?
I
Was
always
it
I'm
because they're
the
being
weird one.
responsible, or like were they just like
I think
thinking of
they're
the
full of shit.
consequences? Yeah,
Right?
they're liars.
I was like, you're being sassy with
Nobody
me.
would rather go. Like if you didn't have to like if I didn't have to take PTO, and none of that crap mattered. Like
I'm thinking about it.
like
I
if
just
you're a
wanna-
professor
crap.
and you could just blow off classes for a week.
yeah,
I could do that.
If you were, especially if you were a tenured
Oh yeah,
professor,
like,
I'd
I'm not
just be
coming
like,
in.
Peace.
Yep.
Yep. That's
That's
so.
where you get your
I've been
TA
considering
to
just taking a
teach
week
for
off work. Maybe it'll be with the division.
This week I even thought about getting my getting a vasectomy just so I could have 4 days to like sit back and play games and be like that's because they do that.
I can't get up. Sorry.
Sorry, the U does that where they give you a basketball shaped ice pack and you get to hang out in Lazy Boy and watch the games. Like that's part of their like
What?
welcome to the final. Was it the Sweet 16? Kind of like watch basketball all weekend and while since you're gonna be resting anyway. Anyway, I would do that for video games. I'd be like snip snip.
Yeah, Drew and I literally had that conversation about
okay.
getting snipped last
Yeah.
week. That's,
Like,
that's I don't know
I
if
thought
it'll
about
ever
it.
be coming for him, but like that's on the
That's on the- right?
I'm,
It's like,
I'm
what if?
literally on the chopping block for that. That's gonna
Literally.
happen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What else
Two
we get
kids is
into?
enough.
That's literal.
Glenn, in fact, I've had a couple conversations this week about that. Glenn earlier in the week sent a little meme that was like, "Oh, it's
Glenn
so
is our
hard
meme
being. It's
mascot.
so hard being. What did it say? It's
Oh,
so hard being single
because I can do whatever I want.
because I can do whatever I want whenever I want." And I was like, "You prick."
Yep.
That has like grated on me since you posted it.
Sorry.
The sigh.
And Broforce.
Oh yeah, and
You
I've been
mentioned
playing.
Broforce.
I didn't, but Leon and I have been playing a lot of Broforce.
Is it local 2-player?
Yeah.
Local co-op?
Yeah.
I think you can do
You can do
online
4?
too. Yeah, we even
Really?
we even wanted to jam with a couple more people. And friendly, there is no friendly fire. So,
Right, so you just
That's nice.
everything is blown up.
It's
other
not
people.
split
So
screen
it's-
either. You just got to keep track.
It's a
of
little
your
less
dude.
stressful than Helldivers.
Oh, that
we don't
friendly
know.
fire.
We don't know because I bet that there's still just with the screen limitations. I bet it's still annoying, and you can still kill people by shooting their ground.
Yeah,
like
you
if
can
I'm
blow
standing
stuff
on a
up. Yeah,
ledge,
you can blow stuff up on
or
them.
stuff can land on them. Like
So-
there are rocks. When you just shoot the ground, there are like rocks in the dirt, and you can shoot the rocks fall on you. It's super freaking annoying.
But it's so cool when you blow up. It's like just pieces of body. 8-bit pieces of body.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I'm digging.
cool.
I'm digging Broforce.
So, with 4-player though, if someone dies, like you run out of lives, can they steal a life from
No.
the person they're
We
playing?
tried and tried. Have you
That's
found a
nice.
way? No?
Unless there's something.
'Cause that was
It's
the
like
thing, I
look,
remember-
Contra. You're
Yeah.
always stealing lives.
That's
from
what I was
somebody.
thinking. Is like you remember how pissed you'd get when somebody would steal your life. You're
'Cause
like,
they were
"Are you freaking-
terrible."
I've been
Right,
saving
they're
up those
bad.
lives,
Yeah.
turd.
Yeah. Friendships were ruined.
So yeah, it's been fun. Broforce has been way fun. Leon and I will probably beat it probably tonight or tomorrow because we're like.
Then you
Do you
can
give each other
94%.
bro nicknames?
I just want to I just want
Rachel?
to fist bump him.
Rachel
Rach
and
bro.
Breon.
Killing it, bro, Montana.
Breon.
Breon.
Abraham
Breon.
Lincoln.
Yeah.
I
Didn't
just
we
say
have our
bro. And then we do this.
Yeah, we had our chat.
all of our
For a
chat
while,
names
yeah.
for bro names for
It
a
was
while?
because of that commercial. that
Potato
came out.
chips.
Yep. I
The
could
guys
never
that were
figure
working
out
out and they're
who was
calling each
who.
other bro
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
And now one of our names. See, we have this back channel chat in Messenger where we all change our names, and I have no idea who's saying anything because now you've changed it
don't
to
either.
Walking Dead names.
Yeah.
I have no clue who anybody
Me
is.
You're
neither.
Rick.
I'm Rick.
I don't know
even
what my
No, I
own
think
is.
you
That's
changed
what
it
it
again,
is.
didn't you?
is
Yeah,
I
you
don't
never know
my
what your
own.
own is, right?
You changed them to. I know yours is Olivia Munn.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh
I
yeah, I
have no
changed
idea
him
who
to
she
nerd.
is.
I don't know who
nerd-
mine is.
Felicia
Nerd
Day.
royalty.
That's right. All I know is
That's
Robin's
what I changed
Felicia
it
Oh,
Day.
are they nerd royalty now?
I don't
Yeah.
know who my
Yeah.
guy is.
Our executive
How is
producer
my
has the
guy?
power.
You might still be Abraham.
No.
No, I'm something. I just don't know who
Damien
it is.
something.
Oh yeah, Damian Lewis.
I don't know who that is.
It's because I was watching Billionaires. He's a redhead guy on.
On
Where we view that, Euclid.
the Marine one.
Yeah.
Homeland.
Yeah,
That has Inigo Montoya in
yeah.
it.
yeah.
That show's awesome.
So, but he's in the new show Billions.
It's just
and,
about being
and
rich.
Paul Giamatti and him. So I call myself Paul Giamatti. And I called
I'll
you
take it.
Damian Lewis.
That's funny. What about you, Glenn? What have you been doing?
Working a lot. I played. I want to beat Uncharted 3. I haven't beat it yet. So
You
I
got time.
sat down to play it the other day and I couldn't remember
I
how
had
to
'em.
do
Saw that
anything. So I
too.
just started all the way over.
Nice.
And I put in a solid 12 hours on Monday.
This is the life.
And,
This is the
that's a
life,
long- that's a
right?
long
And
time.
so my
Take a week
goal
off,
is
this
because
guy.
I have another long layover in Columbus, Ohio tomorrow, like 24 hours there. So I'm just gonna camp out and bring sandwich
Nice.
stuff and
Lucky.
try to
Chill
beat the
out.
game.
Not,
So I just
not
wanna get
even
the
charge the
Division.
hotel. That's a life.
What's that?
I just want to get the Division. Uncharted is great.
Yeah, I'll probably
Uncharted
get
is
the
really good.
Division next week.
The Division is
I mean,
awesome. You
I
guys
have
would
to
like
get it on both consoles because I have so many people that want to
A
play it
hard
on Xbox.
life.
Yeah, I know,
Oh,
right?
And so
what
many
a
people that
hard
want to play it on
life.
PlayStation.
Glenn is our swing. He's our
You should
swinger.
probably let me borrow your. I have a lot of friends that are on the Xbox right now. I was
Yeah.
kind of bummed about it.
Why?
Gotta make those choices. Yeah. Are they? How can they really
Struggles,
be your
I know.
friend? I'm just
That's how
kidding.
I
We love
felt.
them all. We love them all. In fact, we posted
It's true.
a post. One of our posts on
Bundle
Facebook
deal.
was like the bundle deal with the Division, Xbox Bone, whatever, and
It was a good
the
freaking
Assassin's
deal.
It
Creed.
was. There was
It
like
was like-
4 games, right?
Yeah.
Four
Yeah, it was
good
like
games.
We
four
did.
games.
We shared that.
Uh,
We're not.
and the console for $399. That's
We're not
that's
hogging
a
it.
Crazy deal. So I don't know. What about you, Drew?
I've had a really this week leading up to this has been spring break. So no, I'm not teaching anything. Excuse me.
Sounds really hard.
To mute myself and get rid of my burps. Yeah, no, it's what I did was I set aside this set of 5 days with the wife, and we still have to watch the preschooler, so she's not out of the house. But we found a way to get each of us 4 solid days of work, 9 to 5 work with no distractions. and so I have been up here recording new online like tutorials for learning how to play with Final Cut Pro. So if you want to know how to play Final Cut, I can teach you. I'm making all of the screencasts for you. But that's what I've been doing. It's been fun and pretty productive. And then today was my day to watch the kids, and so I partied hard. We ended up going to Fizz for sodas and bobas, and Glenn came over early, and we made pot stickers with the kids. Like it's been a party day.
Nice.
But other than that,
Good times. Good times.
nothing special over the weekend. Like nothing. Just staying alive.
There you go.
Staying alive.
Dropping the mic.
Wow, sorry about that. All right.
Cool. That's been the week. Nothing else? Anyone? Last call? Then we'll kick it over to Drew for the news.
In news number one, we're picking up something that was kind of like a blip today. It looked like Sony Interactive Entertainment, the big boys, were working on a new PlayStation Store design, and it leaked for just a moment. Enough people got some screenshots. We got to see a little bit, and they were like, ooh, ooh, ooh. So DualShockers put that up online, and then shortly after, it came back down.
Yep.
So-
Sony announced that it was a mistake. It was done in error, and they pulled it down. So I think what's cool about this is we can assume, right, that there's a redesign coming, and hopefully it improves.
Right. And
UI.
the word is, like, from what they saw during that small moment, was that there'll be the design will kind of more prominently feature download size and but just extra details,
Which would
game
be nice.
features, right? It looks pretty. If you see the screenshots, we do have them up in the video. We're showing screenshots of what they snagged. It's like, I'm looking forward to it.
Clean.
It's very clean. It's
Yeah,
very
looks
sexy.
very
because
clean.
right now it almost feels like a different experience when you come out of the PS4 like interface and then you get into
Right.
the store. It's almost like I'm going to step
It's a
through
little
this
jarring.
It's annoying.
archaic. Yeah, it is. It is. So I'm looking forward to it. We'll see if that happens. That's news number one. Yeah, and it's taken back down. So apparently it was like an error. Which I'll tell you, when I don't code, but I pretend to. And so I've been fixing the big website that we did for like the whole department. And whenever I find a page that I need to fix, I'm pulling up like PHP and like CSS scripts, and I'm just putting crap in there. And so I will find a word that I recognize on the page that I'm trying to do, because I didn't build the site, so
Right.
I don't know. But I'll just put crap. I'll write the word crap, and then I'll go refresh the page and see where it showed up.
See where it
Yeah,
shows.
I'll be like, the hell?
That's
And I
funny.
refresh the page and be like, oh, there it is. So if
He's
anybody
gonna,
like,
he's gonna type something offensive and
Yeah.
not find it and be like, oh, it must not have shown up. And now
then
I
it
can't
goes
find
live.
it.
And then somebody will-
Then it's
somebody
gonna be
will find
live.
it.
And people are gonna see it.
Yeah, that would be me. All right, news number two. This one is good. Valkyria Chronicles Remastered. We talked about this as like, is it coming? Is it going to come to America stateside? We knew it was happening in Japan, right?
Yep.
So the news is that Sega announced the Valkyria Chronicles Remastered will be released PS4 May 17th. It came out 2008 on the PS3, and it brings with it in the remaster 1080p resolution, 60 frames per second, all the original downloadable content. Pre-orders in those first runs come in a special metal case featuring artwork of Squad 7 and the Galactic Militia Group. Europe gets its own exclusive edition called the Europa Edition.
Which is
That makes-
awesome.
Yeah, that's cool for
That's
them.
cool.
It's all right for them. And they get a 32... do they just get this? They will feature a 32-page art book.
That's pretty sweet.
That is pretty cool. So that's coming up.
That game's awesome. If you haven't ever played it, you
I
should check
did
it out.
because I played it. You let me borrow it, right?
Drew abandoned it.
I abandoned it, but I played it, and it was unique. I will tell you that.
It's incredibly unique. You have to want to be told a story.
Yes.
Like, and you have to be willing to like push through. I mean, the strategy elements within the game are fairly difficult.
Right.
And you have to be willing to like battle through it to get the story, but the story is incredibly satisfying. So if you're a fan at all, like I'm not a big strategy game fan.
Right.
I just really got wrapped up in the story really quickly. Also, partly probably because I'm a history nerd. So like
There's some
it's-
fun.
Well, so what happens is it takes place in like an alternate Europe World War II type era. And so it deals what's really interesting about Valkyria Chronicles is it's this beautiful pencil drawn
Yes,
game.
it is
right?
pretty.
It
It's-
looks
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
But like the game itself it has very serious it's a very serious story being told. It involves some of the racism that was happening during World War II in real life, obviously, towards Polish people and Jewish people. In this game, it's to another group, but it hits on those issues and it hits on some really heavy topics. And it's an emotional story that's told, and I loved it. I can't recommend it highly enough. If you can give it a shot, it's great.
It was good, and I enjoyed. It was a fresh new way to do like strategy.
Yeah.
It was like you have
It
movement points and
incorporates
you have,
strategy
like,
and like third person over
Yeah.
the shoulder shooting. It's pretty interesting.
it was fun. So looking
Tyler,
forward
you
to
borrow
that.
it?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I still have it with my stack of games.
Should check it out.
Right, I think it's
You
for
have a pretty
PS3.
significant backlog, though.
I know.
You do have a list to work on.
I sure do.
The
Now we
joys
know
of
why you
being
need
an
a week.
Xbox gamer
One
for a
day.
while.
I know, for real.
Like he transferred
I don't
over
even
to
have my
PlayStation,
PS3.
and it's like
Oh wait,
I like
I just
threw
wish-
100 games at you, and it's like
I just wish cross-platforming was a thing. That's
Yeah.
all. So I
It
could play
would make
Mass
life so
Effect.
much
So
easier.
I could play Mass Effect.
you can
and
be friends
so-
with more people.
So my Walking Dead games would transfer. Because I was so stoked to play Season 2, and then I was like, oh, you mean I can't
yeah, I hear you.
bring over...
It's weird. So what's weird is I can understand first party games, but third party games, like if you have to sign into an EA server, that should be able to cross platforms, don't you think? Like your save
wouldn't
data
that
should
be
be able to
nice?
cross.
Yeah.
You would think that they could figure out a way to do that. Anyway,
Like
that's
Bethesda
totally
and all those guys.
yeah. There's
should
no
be able
reason
to-
that
Even
information couldn't
Pokemon.
be stored
Yeah.
somewhere. Yeah, totally.
True.
Anyway, speaking of Bethesda,
So speaking of Bethesda, quick
Oh,
news here.
segue.
Yeah, nice work. They're hiring for the Bleeding Edge RPG. So 4 positions: engine, gameplay, 2 graphics programmers. Todd Howard revealed at DICE Summit the developer has 3 big things coming that fans might not be expecting. So he talked about projects kind of a ways off, and they're different than anything they've done before, which is kind of interesting. I mean, these guys that did big games like Bethesda. We're talking Skyrim, the whole Fallout, type, right? What was Skyrim before it was Skyrim? What was that whole series called?
Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls, right? These are gigantic. So, kind of cool. They've been working on this unannounced. Who is this? Dave Schreiber also says he's working on an unannounced future project. Diego de Almeida, freelance illustrator, has been working on unannounced projects since November of last year. It kind of ties into the end of Fallout 4's development. Like this is like secretive fun, but they're hiring, so that's interesting news there. News number 4. PlayStation VR, Executive Vice President Masayasu Ito. Should I just say Ito because that's so much easier? We all know Ito. Okay. He said the biggest advantage of PlayStation VR over the Rift is that the Sony headset kind of works with the PS4. Well, that would make sense because
Duh.
they're the ones making
Isn't it
it.
supposed to?
It's supposed to. He goes on to say that the VR is more for the mass market and more for everyday use, which I find very intriguing, right? Because Rift, when we talk about even just VR, it seems like it'll be a fun toy experience. But when they say mass market everyday use, you start to think more Ready Player One style. Like,
Right.
What else could it be?
Yeah.
If it's supposed to be like daily use,
Education.
yeah. What not just slipping on. Says it's been made for everyday use, needs to be easy to use and affordable. No price has been announced, but Sony is holding an invite-only PlayStation event in San Francisco as part of their game dev conference, and they might announce price. Then we know the Rift is at what, 600?
600.
HTC Vive is at
8
800.
something, yeah.
So you've got to come in at 4 or lower, don't you
I think
think?
$399.
Yeah,
I think $399 is where it'll be. Here's the crazy
that's
thing.
almost mass market.
Here's
Not a
the
console.
interesting thing about
It's eyeballs.
in a perfect world, I think they'd hit $299. And here is my argument for why they should do $299.
Listen closely.
Listen up, Sony.
Dear
Listen up,
Sony.
Shuhei, our dear friends, Shuhei.
Yes.
If they could hit a price point like $299, obviously they're going to take a loss on hardware, but they're going to sell
Right?
1 million more units
Kindle style
than they
this thing.
would at
Just blow it out.
$499, and they're going to sell content. They're going to sell games to support that. Like that is the benefit of selling hardware at a loss in the computer or gaming industry, right? Like hardware can be sold at a loss if games have to be tied to it,
Right.
Because it commits someone, right? It commits them to spending X amount of dollars on X amount of games, and you can figure out like through R&D and like just consumer research, like what they could expect as a return on software, but like they cannot afford for VR to be a flop.
Right.
And if that's the
Right.
case, like if you truly can't afford for it
If
to
it
be a
power
loss,
gloves,
make it something that people can't walk away from.
I got it.
Make it cool enough at a good enough
This is
price
how-
point that they can't walk away.
This is how they do it. So when I got the kids the Kindles, right, the little Kindle Fires are $50. They're subsidized. They'd be $65, except for every time they turn it on, there's an ad for something Amazon.
Right.
So it's totally subsidized. I could take that off for $15 each. Like I have the choice. But you sell your VR set for $100 less, and every time you pop that thing on and turn it on, you get 20, 30 seconds of some sort of ad. Just subsidize it, right?
do
It's
that.
crazy.
I think it would help out like people, the traveler market too, because all you got to do is have the thing on and plug it into your PS4 and you're good. You don't need a big
one
TV
less thing
or
to have.
anything.
Yeah, right. It'd be totally just portable. It'd be like,
I'm excited to
one
see.
thing.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with it.
I'm ready. Ooh, they should get in with the sorry, that's political. I'll stay there. No. I was gonna say something about Common Core and how they should just hook up with the Governors Association and Common Core crap, which I hate.
I had a conversation today with Chris at work.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Mark
you
this
want to know the next legitimate? You want to know the next legitimate like $1 million? Like if you want to build a company that'll just sell for millions of dollars, find someone who's willing to go in Ready Player One style and build educational programs in VR. So like, hey kids, today we're like Magic School Bus style.
Right.
Today we're going to learn about cells.
And you
we're
go
go into
3D
the
deep.
bloodstream.
Yep.
So we're going to go into the bloodstream and we're going to see, oh hey, when there's an increase in white blood cells, watch what happens. And we increase the white blood cells and they're fighting this virus, right? Like an increase in white blood cells means that something's wrong with the body and the body is reacting to fight
It's
against
brilliant,
that,
right?
that
Somebody's
disease.
got.
Like, if
But how
were
do you
building-
design that without having the? I mean, I guess you'd have to build it for a.
Right, you'd build it for a VR thing.
Via
so
VR
it would
something.
be
You
this
just need-
immersive thing where you go in
guess
and
you
can
could do
like,
it.
look around the walls of someone's vein.
Right.
Or like you can tour through
Magic
the,
School Bus.
tour
Journey to
through
the
the
center
rings.
of the earth.
Yeah, go to the center of the earth. Tour the rings of Saturn. And
Yeah, Pat.
Or the rings of hell in Dante.
that's true.
Ooh,
Step
that would
down
be
the
awesome.
morning, class.
Literature, man. We're
That would be fantastic.
Good morning, class. Today
Explore Monet.
hell. Yeah, for religious studies. We're
You're
gonna go
on
see
it,
what
though.
it's like
It's
to
totally
be flayed alive.
Oh, well, welcome to the Crusade.
It's the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a great idea though. I think you're right. I think there's something to be said for like finding the educational niche within VR. It's going to come sooner or later.
Right.
But if you could be in that,
I'm not smart enough nor do I have the resources to do it, but if you do,
let me
there you
know.
go.
Let
You're
me know
welcome.
because you still have to.
You're
pay
welcome.
Us. You have to pay us.
I did have the idea, so you owe me.
Yeah, just a little bit. Okay, I have two more newses and then we'll get out of this. Overwatch Release. One of the developers of for Overwatch announced Monday that the game is going to release May 24th.
Booyah.
Got a date on that. Jeff Kaplan said that if players pre-purchase, they'll get early access to the beta for themselves and a friend. That's that's a nice way to do things. You and one other person
I think
from
that's
third
cool.
to fourth, and then everyone will have a chance to play free during the open beta. That's going to be May 5th through the 9th. All 21 heroes and all maps and game modes will be available in that open beta. It's a team-based multiplayer shooter taking place on a near-future Earth. You can bend
a
time,
MOBA, right?
defy physics, and unleash over-the-top powers and weapons. I believe so.
I think it's technically considered a MOBA, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, there's a lot. I
Which
didn't
makes
even
sense that you
realize-
would. I mean, how brilliant is that just marketing-wise to be like, hey, let's get a beta going,
And
and
take a
everybody
friend.
invites friend.
Or even, I mean, another great example of that that's similar is what Far Cry did, right? They're
Prime-
like, hey, you can give a code to your friends, and anywhere that is not story-driven, you can just invite them to your game, and you guys can go through and play. You can play together in the Far Cry world. You can fly on the helicopters, you can attack stuff, but if it's a story mission, they're blocked.
They don't get to go. That's
Talk
cool.
about it, like incentivizing
Yeah.
a friend to jump in and join. That's awesome.
See, this is the new world order. Last news of the night: No Man's Sky launch date. I'm
Finally.
eager. This is old news
Nor-
because it came out right after our last show, I think. But guys from Hello Games announced that No Man's Sky will be launched June 21st. You can learn how to survive on the hazardous planets, learn alien language, discover alien races, communicate with them. Players can trade, fight, explore. And he also announced that No Man's Sky will have a retail version, which will allow more people to have a chance to play than ever before.
Very awesome.
I'm excited about that one, and I think even though it's, I was kind of bummed because they said you're not going to be able to play like co-op, like multiplayer, like
Because you're never going to run into
you never run into anybody. But I still thought there's this part of me that just went neat because you could like go to a planet, name things, and then maybe somebody will come through and see
It'll
what
be a
you've
lot like
named.
Journey. Yeah, he
Yeah, right?
compared it to Journey. How
Yeah.
like the Journey, in fact, he was like, the game's always online. The people are there. It's just so big that you're not going to run
You
into
never see
anyone.
them.
And
Could
he
you-
actually said, like, in a lot of ways, it's similar to like Journey. Like, you may run across someone on your journey to the center of the universe, but you probably won't.
Could you not just be like, "Hey, I'm on this planet. Look for it on your map," and head that way? I mean, could you direct somebody? I'm gonna find out because I think that
I don't know.
Just be like, "Hey, we're all heading the same
I
direction."
don't know that everything's relative, though.
Yeah, that's
I
probably
mean,
true.
everyone will have a point in the center to meet, but like,
But everybody's coming
is
from
it
out
even
here,
possible
right?
to get to the center? That's the other question.
You're all
like,
moving towards the center.
I mean, if you just put it on autopilot, how many days would it take you heading straight for the sun to get there?
And I think what he's talking about is you're building resources and getting bigger ships and growing so that you can make those leaps
Right.
to the next thing. So I'm looking forward to it, but I just wonder if I have enough time to make it worth my while. Because I don't have time. But it is coming right, I believe June 21st is right after our first block of summer, which is when I have no more classes for about 3 months. So it could work out that I'll make that my job. That's my job, honey. What are you
Right.
doing? I'm populating planets. Just
Don't mind me.
Just don't mind me. I've got hours of this. Anyway, my friends, that is the news.
Cool. Then I want to jump into a topic that I brought up a little bit towards the end of the last show. I don't know if you guys recall what I brought up, but I wanted to talk about how we talk about games to people that don't play games.
Yeah, we can do that.
Like,
Let's do that.
I don't want to take a ton of time because it's later than I think we thought we were going to be going, but I do want to talk about this. Like, so I work for a 3D printing company, right? We do a lot of printing for video game studios, and my job specifically is to work with studios to develop feasible, viable platforms for 3D printing and incorporating that into what they're doing. And what's funny is I'll have conversations with people where they're like, what do you do? I say, I work for a 3D printing company. I'm in their business development department and marketing department. And they're like, oh, cool. So like, who do you work with? And I'll say, well, I work with video game studios. And then it's like, oh. Like I always get this,
That's
like,
not as cool tech.
They're
as I
concerned. Like they're concerned. And they're also like, why? You know?
Why would you do that?
Because I feel like, and obviously this isn't as widespread as it used to be, but I feel like there's this idea that like somehow playing video games, being involved with video games, like as a 31-year-old person, a 40-something-year-old person,
I'm
a
40.
20-something-year-old person, like if you're not 14 and playing video games, there are people that look at you and they're like,
That's
I don't
What a
get it. What's
loser.
up?
That's
So
true.
I wanted to know what you guys thought. Like, what is your response? Because I'm sure it's happened to all of us, right? Do you guys have a cookie cutter response, an elevator pitch that you guys give to be like, this is why I play? Or do you just be like, middle finger, like, I'm not stressing about this at all?
I just say I'm a nerd and I love to play games, and that's all I do.
And
So
you,
no nonsense, straightforward.
Yeah.
but you could also say,
What else am I gonna do?
I have limited responsibilities. I just kind of hang around my house. I might as well.
Judge me.
Judge
yeah.
me.
I think what gets me too is like, what'd you do this weekend? Is I played a lot of video games and I wouldn't have had it any other way. Yeah, that's one thing.
You people with
I know it
weekends.
seems like I don't know. You guys are a lot older than me, and you're males. But usually, when I tell someone that I'm into video games, I get childish vibes from me. I feel belittled, and they're like, "Oh, you're just,
No, I get
oh,
the
you're
same
just
thing.
a little kid.
When are you going to grow
oh."
up, Rachel?
And it's annoying. It's annoying for me because I'm just like,
Do you get kickback too because you're a girl?
sometimes here's the thing is my mentality, I have a fun story. My mentality is that everyone plays video games. That's just, I don't know.
That's the reality.
That's how I feel.
Everybody's
No,
playing
that's
them.
just how
Yeah.
that's just how I feel is that if you're talking to me, you must play video games. Like I don't like that's just I feel like it's the norm to play video games. So when I find someone who doesn't play video games, I'm almost like, what do you? So I was talking to some guy and he's like, what have you been into lately? I'm like, well, I'm just playing a lot of Witcher. And he was like, well, what was that? I'm like,
Wow.
it's a video game. He's like, oh, what? And every time he would talk to me, I'd always be playing video game. He was like, wow, you play a lot of video games. And I was like, I guess I do. I don't know. You don't like. It's super awkward. I remember before I dated a kid once, and he didn't play video games, and I swear there was nothing to talk about with this
Right, what are
kid.
you
Like
talking
dating
about?
a vegan.
It really almost like I had no, I guess music, but I was just like, I was lost. I was
Yeah.
so lost. So it's almost my assumption that everyone is like me and that everyone does play video games. So when I find someone who doesn't, I'm just kind of like,
How do you live?
If you play mobile games, guess what? You're a gamer. And I've said that too. Like I've had conversations. In fact, I've got a very good friend whose wife hates that he plays video games.
But she
She plays mobile
Crushes
games.
all the
She
time.
plays mobile games all the time. And so I'm like, dude, tell your wife she games. She's a gamer. If she's playing mobile games, it's the exact same thing. He's like,
Playing games.
no, dude, because she can play that while we watch, The Bachelor. Like we'll watch
play.
Bachelor. She turns it on, and so she's playing her little mobile game while we
If
watch
he gets
Bachelor.
an Xbox
I'm like,
One, he can put it.
Wait, one
He
screen
can
and
put
the other
one
There we go.
screen
That's
up
what
and
you
then
do.
the thing. Yeah.
But I don't know. Like
So
for you,
for
how does
me,
that
it's
work?
totally
'Cause you're
different
a teacher
though.
too.
Yeah, it's totally different for me because I use my gaming as a way to appear less responsible. Right, because everyone is like, "Oh, professor," or "He's a teacher," right? I know you guys probably didn't see this when you were in school, but there are some young ones that think that I have some responsibility.
I met Drew before he was my professor.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So for me, I think but I do. I use the games as like almost as a not diffusing because it's not like it's tense, but like I use it as like
Uses and gratification theory.
I just tell people just like yeah, I game, and it's for me. It's like I'm being a real. I'm just telling you, I'm a real life guy. Like it's a
human
trade off. Like I'm not. I guess maybe it is I add the gaming element of my life to the conversation so that they know I'm not a nerd. You know what I mean? Like they don't think that I'm reading books all the time and I'm professoring. I tell everybody
You're
that I'm
human?
gaming to say I'm human. Yeah, to say this is what I balance my
Right.
life with. And so I'll tell people. In fact, the last 4 or 5 months or so, I've been telling colleagues even that we do this show and that I do a lot of video gaming as research because they get that right. That's because it's research.
Change the words.
But yeah, it totally works for me because it then gives them this different feel for who I am. I'm not. I don't know what they do in their spare time. I do know what some of them do. I don't want to know.
See, it
but
makes me curious about Robin too because Robin also uses it as a professional tool.
She does.
When
She
she
researches
Like
it.
legitimately.
Yeah.
when she interviewed for her position at this, didn't she do something on video games?
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
other
her
people
major,
were
like,
Or thesis.
thesis and
What?
dissertation, like all of it's in like game-ish studies.
Like,
So
I-
it's
I
almost
sat
like
in-
it's almost like a role reversal. Like, I use video games and I'm smarter than you.
Right. That was one of the interesting things. So I actually sat in on her
presentation, right?
presentation
Yep.
to the faculty.
Yep.
So to the communications department faculty, and
Did you have to translate?
no, I should. That would have been funny.
Final Fantasy.
But what was
is-
funny is like she goes in and her entire presentation was, first of all, it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was.
But it focused on Journey and on Final Fantasy VII. And I'm looking around, I'm like, all of these guys are like, they're college professors, and she's teaching them theories of communication through video games. That's awesome. Very cool.
Right through
well,
the releases?
this, ladies and gentlemen,
Let's go to the releases.
is time for new releases.
All right, so for PlayStation 4, we have Action Hank Digital.
That's the butt slider. That's the
Action
butt
Hank?
slider. It was Action Hank because that was up
Hank.
against the
Oh,
Broforce.
interesting.
Okay. Well, Alien Shooter, Assault Android Cactus, Blast and Bunnies, Casey Powell Lacrosse 16,
Sounds awesome.
Don't Die, Mr. Robot. Didn't we play that?
Yeah, we
once?
did. Isn't that? Yeah, it's like level after level, and we did that as an indie. About a year ago,
Okay,
I think.
I
yeah.
remember.
So what is that on? That's on.
Cross-buy with the PS Vita. So it's still PS4. Dragey Digital. Hitman. It's also digital. Colat. Rise of Kasai.
Kasai.
Rise of Kasai. It's PS2 digital. Tetraminos and Tom Clancy's The Division. Then for the Vita, we have Blast and Bunnies, Dre, and Pixel Hunter.
Blasting bunnies.
Yeah.
That's the kind of show I can get behind. Cool.
Very
Anybody?
cool.
When
Any
you
of those
say
gonna grab?
blasting,
So the only thing on there that I picked up The Division. I don't know that there's anything else that I'm super interested in.
Hitman, I might pick up down the road.
Is it that new
I
Hitman
think
or
it's
is
the
that?
new Hitman, isn't it?
I think it's got to be.
I think so.
It's gotta be.
Division.
Yep. Division's good. Pick it up. It's a good one.
On to
Anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 89 of the Little Big Cast. Coming up next week will be episode 90. 90
That's old.
episodes. That's a lot of episodes.
We got some cool stuff in the pipe. So 10 episodes from now. So it'll be a couple months.
Yeah.
We plan on doing a live show with as many friends as we can get in a giant theater where we play games and record our show in a theater with Lazy Boys. And
Yep.
just
It'll be
It's
awesome.
gonna be awesome. Look for that
Fun
down
stuff.
the road.
10 episodes.
Then you can hit the road once you get popular.
That's right. Everybody jump in and
We
we'll
have,
just
like,
do tour.
live,
Yeah.
Just get a-
Only we'll be doing it in people's basements.
Get our own paddy
There you
wagon.
go.
Yep. You show
like,
up.
talk salad and scrambled eggs.
Absolutely.
89's awesome.
Very cool. So thank you for tuning into episode 89. If you like the show and you want to donate a little bit, we have a Patreon set up at patreon.com/littlebigcast. We'd love for you to send us $1.
Yeah.
or a couple more than that. But it,
Helps
if you
us pay
can,
for
cool.
hosting.
And if not, no worries. It helps us pay for hosting.
Helps us
and
pay
it
for all
helps us
kinds of
pay
things.
for gear and mics that fit. We got to return this one. It was a bad purchase. But
Shout out to our patrons.
regardless-
that are out there. Our patrons, Mikey Young.
For sure.
Is always doing the goods. And then trying to remember, there's 2 more, and I
think we
knew
have a
their
list.
names the
Hang
last
on.
time we were here. Do you have them?
I think there's a list right here.
It
Matt Baker, Casey
Yep.
Holland.
Yep, them.
We have a couple others that have been around for a little while, but thank you so much for your support.
Appreciate
and
it.
for supporting us. We just appreciate it. It's awesome. Thank you for being there and supporting us. Outside of that, this has been episode 89 of Little Big Cast. Thank you for joining us. We will catch you all next week. Once again, my name is Jeff Hawks. You can follow me on Twitter at Jeff Hawks and on the PlayStation Network if you want to jam at Mr. Hawks, MRHOX.
Hawks.
With me, as always, Rachel Hernandez.
Yeah, Pirate Rachel with 3 instead of an E. I'm on the internet.
Yeah,
I'm on the
Mr.
internet.
Glenn Wiggum.
G Wiggum on the socials and Wigs9703 on games and Twitch.
And Drew Tyler.
Find me at Night 20 just about anywhere at KNITE20.
Once again, thanks everybody. We'll catch you next time.
Snap.